He reached out to touch her face but quickly pulled back when she suddenly woke up. Embarrassed, he stepped away and told her that it was late and they should leave. Finally, Minsu agreed. As they stepped outside, Woobin got on his motorcycle and offered to take her to school. Just as she was about to get on, Sonjin's car pulled up. Minsu looked at him as he stepped out of the car and walked toward her. She wanted nothing more than to run to him and embrace him. Without a word, Sonjin took her hand and led her to his car. Woobin stood there, watching as they drove away. Sonjin arrived at the beach with Minsu. He got out of the car, and Minsu followed him, asking why they were there at night. He looked at her and asked if she was mad at him for ignoring her. Minsu told him that she was to blame and that she should have listened to him instead of asking him to go talk to Kim. Realizing that Minsu was standing a bit far from him, he told her to come closer. She smiled and moved toward him. He leaned in, kissed her, and asked if she trusted him. Minsu nodded and smiled. Taking her hand, he told her he had something for her. He led her toward the beach, where she saw beautiful lights and breathtaking decorations. Sonjin had arranged a night picnic just for the two of them. Amazed by how beautiful everything was, Minsu looked at Sonjin and asked when he had done this. Sonjin smiled and told her he had connections. He held her hand and led her to the blanket spread out on the sand. They both sat down, and he pulled her into his arms as they watched the peaceful waves together. Breaking the silence, he told her that growing up, he had always thought love was a simple thing. He had imagined that when he grew up, he would fall in love and live happily ever after. But he had never considered the obstacles that two people had to face to finally be together. He added that although their journey had been a bumpy one, he couldn't imagine going through it with anyone else. Minsu looked at him, admiring how handsome he looked as he spoke so passionately about them. Sonjin turned to her, took her hands in his, and apologized for being a bad boyfriend at times, promising to be a better man for both of them. Minsu smiled and told him he was the best boyfriend and that she wouldn't trade him for anything. They lay on the blanket, looking up at the stars while holding hands. Sonjin turned to face her, looking deep into her eyes, and told her they should run away together. He suggested they could go far away from everything, to Italy, Thailand, or Africa, just the two of them. Worried, Minsu gently touched his hair and asked why he was saying such things. Sonjin told her he had managed to deal with Kim, but after that, she had gone to his father and arranged an engagement behind his back. Minsu's heart sank at his words. She asked him what he was going to do and whether he was just going to sit back and let them dictate his life. Sonjin sat up straight, looked at Minsu, held her hands, and told her that he had a plan. He asked her if she trusted him. Minsu told him she did, smiled and told her to continue trusting him. He held her close to him, said there was an easy solution to everything. Curious, Minsu asked what it was. Sonjin smiled and told her that he could get her pregnant, and then he would be forced to marry her. Minsu became shy and told him that her parents would kill her and that she wouldn't want to get pregnant on her first time. She paused, too embarrassed to continue. Sonjin sat up and looked at her, teasingly asking what she meant by her first time. Though he understood, he wanted to hear her say it. Minsu looked away, embarrassed. Sonjin smiled and asked if he was her first boyfriend. She nodded. Feeling happy, he told her he was glad to hear that and that he didn't mind being her first everything. He confessed that every time he touched her, he wished he could go further, but he would only do so if she gave him permission. Even if she wasn't ready, he assured her that he loved her regardless. Minsu, still shy, looked at him and told him that she was ready. He pulled her closer, telling her they should have a romantic getaway on his birthday night, as he wanted to spend the entire day with her. She agreed. They sat together holding each other as they watched the waves, wishing the night would never end. Minsu looked at him and told him that no matter what, she wouldn't give up on him. Sonjin smiled, realizing just how lucky he was.